What's going on, everybody? The Power 5 is red hot after we swept the sell high, buy low, and power play of the day spots over the weekend in college football. We did the same thing yesterday in Major League Baseball. So stay tuned for who I'm selling high on, who I'm buying low on for Tuesday, plus our power play of the day, as you're going to find out which team is about to win back-to-back games for the first time in a month. But first, for how the market is moving, bettors are jumping all over the Orioles tonight. We got to talk about this. That's typically been a wise investment to jump on the Orioles. After all, they've been the most profitable team to bet on in all of baseball, both of the last two seasons. Last night, I laid the minus 1.5 on the run line, 4% winner. They defeat the Angels 6-3. The difference was a Gunnar Henderson 3-run homer. Looking at the WagerTalk.com odds screen for today, Baltimore open minus 140. It's a 9:38 Eastern time start out in LA. They are now already up to minus 160 at most books. They're going to be sending Dean Kramer to the mound, are the O's, over the course of the season. The team is 20-7 when Kramer starts. He's going to be opposed by Reed Detmers, who has had quite the inconsistent campaign for the Halos, who are just 9-15 in Detmers starts in 2023. Oh, by the way, Shohei Ohtani missed last night's game. The team is reportedly running some tests on him and his status for tonight. A little up in the air as of this morning. What we do know, though, for certain, is the Angels have lost 23 of their last 31 games, Ohtani or not. The market has moved sharply against them for Tuesday. On to sell high. Hey, yesterday, we said the Padres were an auto fade on a 3-game win streak. Sure enough, they dropped to 0-9 this season, went off 3 consecutive wins. Who am I looking to sell high on for Tuesday? How about the Red Sox, who rallied for 7 unanswered runs against the Rays yesterday afternoon? Even though Boston starter Cutter Crawford has been better on the road than he has at Fenway this season, I don't think we see a repeat of yesterday's result at Tropicana Field. By the way, prior to yesterday's win, the Red Sox had dropped 13 straight games in Tampa Bay, dating back to April of 2022. Now, a big reason I don't think we see a repeat of, in addition to the Red Sox woes at the Trop, but another reason I don't see a repeat of yesterday is the Rays are going with Zach Eflin on Tuesday. Team is 18-8 in his 26 starts this year, including 11-4 at home, where he's got a 3.04 ERA and a .95 WHIP. Eflin is also tied with Toronto's Chris Bassett, also in action Tuesday, for the most wins in all of baseball. Again, Red Sox have lost 13 in a row, or had lost 13 in a row at the Trop prior to yesterday. We've got more great stats coming. Oh, by the way, on our Stat of the Day segment. Tampa Bay, they started fast last night with 3 runs in the first inning on 3 hits, but they just had 2 hits the rest of the game. Again, though, I'm selling high on Boston tonight. Game time, 6:40 Eastern. Cubs ended up being 5-0 winners. Were our buy low team yesterday. Who gets that distinction for Tuesday? Well, I'm going to say the Dodgers, who are in Miami. Price looks a bit short to me, like it was with the Cubs yesterday, because Clayton Kershaw is on the mound. LA opens just minus 145 per the WagerTalk.com odds screen. Again, seems short. Now, they've already been bet up, and for good reason. Not only are the Dodgers the highest scoring road team in all of baseball, 5.9 runs per game, they've won 6 straight Kershaw starts. And during that time, the lefty's given up just 4 runs total. Honestly, Miami could also qualify for the sell high spot on today's show because they just swept the Nationals over the weekend. One positive for Miami is tonight's starter, Jesus Luzardo, has not allowed a single run over his last 2 starts. But I've been saying this all year. Miami is not as good as their win-loss record would seem to suggest. They have a minus 44 year-to-date run differential. That's worse than the Mets. The Dodgers did drop 3 of 4 at home to the Braves over the weekend, but they were a 4% winner for me on Sunday. The Dodgers are my buy low team for Tuesday. Okay, who are you selling high and buying low on for Tuesday's 15-game Major League Baseball slate? Why don't you do me a favor? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll be sure to respond. Stat of the day, per Opta, Lucas Giolito is the first pitcher to allow 8 or more runs in a game for 3 different MLB teams in the same season since Bill McGee did it in 1899 for the Louisville Colonels. Don't know much about Bill McGee other than apparently in 1899 he allowed 8 or more runs for 3 different teams. You're probably going to want to fade Giolito here in 2023, the next time he starts for the Guardians, if there even is a next time. For the record, he gave up 9 runs in 3 innings last night. The Guardians fell 20-6 to the Twins. Giolito has previously pitched with the White Sox and Angels this year. It has been a disastrous 2023 for him. Okay, before we get to the power play of the day, I do want to address something, and that's college football. I mentioned on yesterday's show what a poor start, what an ugly start it has been with client selections for me here to start the 2023 season. Full transparency, I have lost all 8 client selections, and that is disgraceful, and I'm very sorry about that. Anyone who got on board with those plays, nobody takes it harder than me. Trust me. On Saturday night, I was certainly in a surly mood, probably as surly, if not surlier, than anyone who was on my selections for week 1. And I just want to let you know, I take it very seriously, and I'm working hard for week 2, and we're going to have a big bounce back week. For the record, okay, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Power 5 on Saturday, we got everything right in college football. We hit the TCU team total on Wager Talk today. I did 2 game previews for week 1. Coastal Carolina versus UCLA, I said take the points. That was correct. I also said take the under on Clemson Duke for last night. That was correct. So I don't think I've forgotten necessarily how to handicap college football. It was a terrible run for client plays, and anyone that was on board, I would like to offer my sincerest apologies for that. It is not acceptable to do that at any stretch of the season, let alone at the start. Have softened the blow somewhat, though. Perfect 4-0 with client plays the last 2 days, including 3-0 in Major League Baseball, where we're hitting 67% since August 19th and 6-1 our last 7. So onward and upward in college football. I did want to address that in the interest of full transparency. On to the power play of the day. Okay, let's close it out here. Nice 5-1 run on the power play of the day after yesterday's blowout win by the Royals, 12-1. Thank you very much. I'm going back to the well with KC tonight in this spot. They are relatively short home favorites between -110 and -120, depending on your book, against the White Sox, who happen to have the worst record in all of baseball since the All-Star break. Not only have the White Sox dropped 16 of their last 22 games to fall a season worst 32 games below 500, but they have scored just 18 runs total their last 7 games, and 10 of those came in 1 game. So the other 6 games, they've scored just 8 runs. Now, it was nice having Cole Reagans on the mound yesterday with the Royals. Tonight, it's Brady Singer, who hasn't been nearly as dominant. That being said, Singer has allowed just 2 runs and 5 hits over his last 2 home starts, which encompasses 15 2/3 innings of work. Meanwhile, Dylan Cease is going for the White Sox. He has a 10.80 ERA and 2.20 whip his last 3 starts overall. I think the Royals do something tonight they haven't done in a month, and that's win back-to-back games. They are your power play of the day. Let me know in the comments section if you like the Royals as well. And while you're at it, go ahead, smash that like button if you like this content. Give this show a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. I just did a couple college football previews for week 2, talking Nebraska at Colorado and Texas A&M at Miami. I'm also going to be on the college football show later today here on Wager Talk Today. Check me out on Twitter at Bryan Power _wins. You can get all of my plays at wt.buzz/BP. And that does it for the Power 5 for Tuesday, September 5th. Let's all go cash some tickets.